शुभं करोति कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदा शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योति नमोस्तुते.
Once again, good evening to all of you, and a warm welcome to ICRDE, International Center of Resource Development for Educators. Today is the fifth Tuesday webinar. I just give you a brief introduction about ICRDE. Earlier, the name was CIRDI, which was launched on World Teachers Day, that is 5th October 2021. Since launch, we have conducted 4 Tuesday webinars, a 2-day national conference, and a talent unfold session for teachers. Last week, that is from the first week of January, we have changed our name due to some technical problem from CIRDI to ICRDE. Now it stands, ICRDE stands for International Center of Resource Development for Educators. It's a platform where teachers and educators are maneuvered to excel and mentor the student community through local and international mentorship. It offers opportunity to experiment and implement ideas, innovations, and collaboration to achieve performance and continuous professional excellence. ICRDE is where confluence of like-minded individuals share and imbibe knowledge, experience through interaction, deliberation, and international exposure. We have on our board 6 well-known and experts in the field of education on our advisory panel. I request all the educators who have not yet become the members of ICRDE, please visit our site www.cirdi.in. Time being, the website name will remain the same as cirdi.in, but after some time it will become www.icrde.in. But till then you can do it, but then you can go to members arena. The membership is free of cost. There is no money involved in it. You have to just keep your photograph and signature ready for uploading. Today, we are having our 5th Tuesday webinar, as I've told you earlier. Today's webinar on a rhyme a day. That's the sure way to fall in love with the languages. I'm sure you will have a wonderful evening with Dr. Sangeeta Srivastava today. She's a great supporter of ICRDE. Since inception of CRDI, she was with us for each and everything. She shares her articles for our new CRDI news also. So I also request all the educators who are writing any articles in the field of education, which will be useful for students, teachers, and the principals in general, for the educators community. Please send the articles to us. We'll be publishing a newsletter every 2 months. Now it's due, January month is due. We are just almost finalizing that January issue. The second issue of this ICRDE new. First was CIRDS news. The second one will be starting with ICRDE news. So in case if you have any articles with you, please share with us. For the sake of educators who are new to us, new to Dr. Sangeeta Srivastava, let me introduce her. Dr. Sangeeta Srivastava is the Principal and Chief Academic Officer of Kandivali Education Society's Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel Vidyalalakshmi Vidyalaya, as well as Sri T.P. Bhatia Junior College of Science. A PhD holder in education from University of Mumbai, Sangeeta ji has also done diploma in journalism and mass communications and acquired primary training into Hindustani classical singing. She is a master trainer for training of principals under Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan, Rashtriya Madhyamik Shiksha Abhiyan, that is RMSA, at YESDA, Pune, and a master trainer for Rashtriya Madhyamik Shiksha Abhiyan, conducted vocational guidance training for teachers of secondary schools of Harvard. Dr. Sangeeta Srivastava has presented a number of educational papers at Indian and international conferences. Her biggest achievement was when publication of her book based on her doctoral research titled Teachers Create Magic with ICT Tools in August 2016 was launched at the hands of Education Minister Sri Vinod Tawde. She also takes pride when her paper, Scholarly Research Journal for Interdisciplinary Studies, was published in the Online International Journal with the ISBN. Mobilizing masses for a cause has been a source of energy and exploring and experimenting with ideas that will encourage educators, teachers, and students to enhance their intellect, pedagogies, and social contribution is what helps Sangeeta ji keep going. In December, ICRDE was thankful to her for conducting a conversational learning with our guest, uh, then Mr. Siddharth Prabhakar. Her talent and flair for poems kept the conversation very colorful, and her questions allowed us to realize that we need to invite her for today. Today's topic is an extension of her ease and joy in writing poems, and we are sure will, will be very helpful in making language learning easier. Apart from a number of awards which she has received, the one which I have to mention here is that 3 years back, she has been awarded with the prestigious State Teacher Award, that is Rajya Shiksha Puraskar from the state of government of Maharashtra. So we have got a very talented speaker today. Without wasting much time, I welcome Dr. Sangeeta Srivastava for today's session. Welcome, ma'am. The stage is
Thank
yours.
you. Thank you, Dr. Suresh Nair, very much for this elaborate uh, introduction. I think we are all, everybody that whom I can see, I know most of you, and you all know me. And yes, this ICRDE is doing a wonderful job, and I too, along with Dr. Suresh Nair and other members, request all of you to be a member of it, be a part of it, and contribute to it, because I believe that all the educators here have something unique in them that they can definitely introduce to this wonderful platform. So, coming back to my topic of today, which says a rhyme a day, and that's the sure way to fall in love with a language or languages. So, language, any language, whether it is the international language English or our local languages or our mother tongue. Today, all the parents, teachers, they really find it uh, a challenge to teach their children the language they want. In the school, the teachers, English teachers especially, um, worry that I don't know where the language is going, and at home parents are worried that the child does not speak the mother tongue, or even if they speak, it is not at all the way it should be spoken. So this is a big challenge, and that is why in the initial introduction which Nair sir had shared with all of you, which says that the experts have by research proved that if a child by the age of 4 learns at least 8 nursery rhymes in any language, is going to be a very good reader, a very good writer, and can develop into real, even a poet or a writer or an author. So what is it? What is the science? What is the science behind it, and how poetry, a rhyme, which is rhyme. Why I didn't say poetry? Because poetry is much deeper, but rhyme is a very simple thing where the last letters rhyme with each other to make it more musical, rhythmic, and how it helps in development of such a serious thing that is called language power or language skill. We all need poetry. Poetry promotes, or the rhymes promote literacy, it builds community and fosters emotional resilience, believe me. It can cross boundaries that little else can. In fact, in USA, April is the National Poetry Month. If we bring some poetry in our hearts, in our homes, in our classrooms, and in schools, it makes our life much more meaningful and much more interesting. I want to just tell you a few reasons which I have found from the researchers. Poetry helps us. First reason is why, because poetry helps us to know each other and build community, and why I'll show you later on. Poetry can be used at the start of the year to learn where the students come from different places and communities and homes. It can allow children to paint sketches of their lives using metaphor, imagery, symbolic language to describe painful experiences or happy experiences, or some part of their life which they are not ready to share otherwise. Poetry allows kids to put language to use to make it serve a deep internal purpose, to break rules along the way. In the poetry or the rhymes, we don't follow the grammar, punctuation, capital letters. So there is no boundaries. It just leaves you free to your imagination. And second reason is when we read aloud, poetry is rhythmic, musical, and it has sounds and beats. And young children, babies, right from the time they are born, babies and the preschoolers who are in the pre-primary schools, they may not understand all the words and meanings of the rhymes, but they feel the rhythm, they get curious about what the sound means, and perhaps want to create their own sounds. They learn to speak with that. Contrary to popular belief among children that um, uh, the boys especially, they get into poetry not for the feelings or words of it, but through the rhythm and rhyme. Poetry or rhymes are the most kinesthetic of all the literature. Its physical and activities will activate your soul and heart and sometimes bypass the traps of our mind, and outcome is the poetry that moves us. And the third reason, poetry uh, opens venues for speaking and listening. Then there is another reason that poetry has space for language learners, because as I earlier told, that it defies the rules and it can be very easy for children to learn, especially the English language learners. We all know that English is really a very difficult language to learn because there are no rules, there are always contradictions, there are always exceptions, very difficult to learn. Even now, at this age also, and being an English literature student also uh, in the postgrad, but still today I cannot say that I know the language well. Like continuously, you have to learn it. And one more reason is that poetry builds resilience in children as well as in adults. It fosters social and emotional learning. You can say that a well crafted phrase or a two in a poem can help us see and experience in an entirely new way. We can gain insight that has, uh, you know, uh, that you were not able to understand for many times. It gives you new understanding and uh, strength. We all know about W.B. Yeats, the poet, the English poet. He has said about the poetry is that it is the blood, imagination, and intellect running together. Poetry bids us in touch and taste and hear and see the world and shrink from all that is only brain. Poetry is a mix of our thinking, our imagination, and also our intellect. And our schools are the places where we are too much focusing only on the brain. We must find ways to surface other ways of being, other modes of learning, and poetry can become a very beautiful way of learning and how, I will be coming to it soon. Now, before I, you all know about, must have heard about this poet Neeraj, who is unfortunately no more now. He has written beautiful Hindi poetry, and he has written so many good songs in the Bollywood, like "Phoolon ke rang se, dil ki kalam se," such a beautiful song, and there are so many, "Rangila re tere rang mein." So this poet has written 4 lines which I would like to read to you. He says, "आत्मा के सौंदर्य का शब्द रूप है काव्य." आत्मा के सौंदर्य का मतलब ब्यूटी ऑफ द सोल। आत्मा के सौंदर्य का शब्द रूप है काव्य, मानव होना भाग्य है, कवि होना सौभाग्य। Which means that poetry is the beauty of soul in form of words. It is a good luck to be born as a human being, but it is very fortunate to become a poet. At this point, I want all of you to just take a small quiet time for 1 minute. Think of the maybe very initial, not if not first, but at least the a poetry rhyme or a poetry that has touched you as a child and still you remember it. Just take some time, think about it, and if you want to share after we finish thinking in 1 minute, you can unmute yourself and share the poem that you still remember that you learned as a child and why. I'll ask you, you can just unmute yourself or raise your hand, or you can write in the chat box. Will be done. Okay, so your time starts now. Okay, anyone who wants to, you can just write on the chat box. Um, I already started getting some messages. Shravan Masi Harsha Manasi. Yes, very beautiful poem in Marathi. Anyone wants to share any particular rhyme that you remember and the reason behind it? It will be
I'll
nice
share.
to hear. Yes, Lata ma'am. Thank you. Please do. Yeah, please share.
Excuse me, all the Marathi people. Whatever I remember, what I learned in 4th standard. But then it's touched my heart because it's very relevant for any day, for that matter, however you are, wherever you are. पाहुनी सौख्य माझे, देवेंद्र तो हिलाजे, शांती सदा विराजे, या जो पडित माझा, येता तरी सुखे या, जाता तरी सुखे जा, कोणावरी न बोजा, या जो पडित माझा. I remember that much.
Yeah.
But it has touched me and I just can't forget these lines.
See, yes. And you don't know the reason why it has touched
And the
you.
message goes by itself. And the message goes by itself. Anybody is welcome to my house at any point of time. No concern. Please be come.
Wonderful. Beautiful.
Thank you.
Yes, Sarabjit ji?
Yes.
You want to share? Yes.
Yes. Good evening, all. So there is this one song. We had singing classes in our school. Okay, I was in Torello Convent in Bandra. And there was this wonderful song, which till today I sing, and it goes like this. So it goes, welcome, welcome, welcome. How do you do? It's so nice to see you. Welcome, all of you. Good to see you, mummies. Good to see you, daddies. It's so nice to see you. Welcome, all of you. So this song is stuck in my head, and till today I sing it. So if there are guests coming over, or if I have some parents coming over, or if I have some meeting, so automatically, it goes on autopilot.
Yes.
So
Good.
yes. And
That
this
is the
is
idea
where I
behind
had
it. Like
learned.
going on the autopilot is the idea behind this. So it just stays there. Okay. Yes. Sorry.
Thank you.
Yes, Dr. Nair, you want to say something?
No.
Okay. I can see some my good teachers here. Mukesh Shah sir, do you want to say something? You want to share something? You have a small girl with you, your daughter.
Yeah, because of my daughter, I'm with the song, Gujarati song.
Very good.
નાના મારા હાથ એ પકડે કાક કાક આ તો કેવી મજાની વાત છે આંખો મારી નાની એ જોએ શમણા મોટા આ તો કેવી મજાની વાત and that way it continues.
Wonderful.
મારા
Yeah.
નાના એ ભરે ડગલા મોટા આ તો કેવી મજાની વાત છે. And then she came on. So
Yes.
this is a beautiful, I think it is a poem which we learn in school time and just I improvise it.
Yes. See, the idea is now with this beautiful poem, they talk about relationships. अगर आज आप देखें in the time of pandemic, uh, we all are realizing that the relationships are so important. People that are in your life are so important. And yes, somebody has given message about Bengali Swar Mala and Vyanjan Mala that her mom used to sing along with. Can you share it, Aditi ma'am? If not, then okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, it will be
certainly.
wonderful if you
It
share.
was
Yes.
something like ওই অজগরটি আসছে তেড়ে আমটি আমি খাবো পেড়ে ইঁদুর ছানা ভয়ে মরে ঈগল পাখি পাছে ধরে উঠ চলেছে মুখটি তুলে দীর্ঘটি আছে ঝুলে ঋষি মশাই বসেন পূজায় লিকার জন্য ডিগবাজি খায় এক্কা গাড়ি খুব ছুটেছে ওই দেখো ভাই চাঁদ উঠেছে ওল খেও না ধরবে গলা ওষুধ খেতে মিছে বলা it's the entire swarmala and due to which all the entire e of Sanskrit is there. So it
Aditi ji,
helped
I
me
would,
even in Hindi. It helped me understand the like we call it even today after so many years. Beautiful it is. Same was with the Vyanjan Mala.
I would definitely like you to share this, I mean, with me because when I was with my when I see young children, and many times somebody asked me that, don't you have like we have ABCD in a rhyme, ABCDEFG, we all learn, but don't you have
Yeah.
such a thing in Hindi or for
Oh
Kaka
yes, we
Gaga and
have.
A, E, E? So please share that because I try to write on my own, but it will really help if you really have like this Bengali one is so beautiful.
Thank you.
And then yes, Jack and Jill in different languages, and
Yes.
poetry books, we teach our children the poems that are coming straight from England and London and British English, but we need poems today to teach our children their local language, or even if it's in English, it has to be the things that children can relate to. Like Jack and Jill went up for the hill is still better. Like when we sing Mary had a little lamb, children don't know like lamb, we don't see like, so let us have poems which children can relate to more. So coming back to let's thank you very much all of you for contributing. I was just saying that see how we remember the poetry that we as young children learned, and it's still there in the mind, although we don't have to even exert to think about it. Like if I can say that the first difficult Hindi poem that I learned, not the rhyme but the poem, was उठो लाल अब आंखें खोलो पानी लाई हूँ मुंह धो बीती रात कमल दल फूले उनके ऊपर भौरे झूले चिड़िया चहक उठी पेड़ों पर बहने लगी हवा अति सुंदर नभ में न्यारी लाली छाई धरती ने प्यारी छवि पाई ऐसा सुंदर समय न खो मेरे प्यारे अब मत सो. Such a beautiful poem. But when I grew up, I saw the beauty of the language and the things that it wants to say. So if we go back, like this is our childhood, but look at the centuries back, 15th century, when Kabir Das and Rahim Das, they have written poems, rhymes, or the couplets which today are so relevant even today. Like Kabir Das, so many I can recall a few like काल करे सो आज करे सो अब पल में प्रलय होगी बहुरी करेगो कब. Now this is so relevant today. This talks about philosophy. जाति न पूछो साधु की पूछ लीजिए ज्ञान मोल करो तलवार का पड़ा रहन दो म्यान. You should not ask about the caste of a person, but see how knowledgeable that person is. Today, the society is being divided on the caste and religion. Look at what he said in 15th century, which is so much needed today. Or Rahim, he says, रहीमन धागा प्रेम का मत तोड़ो चटकाए, टूटे से फिर ना जुड़े, जुड़े गांठ पड़ जाए. Or रहीमन पानी राखिए बिन पानी सब सून. Look at today, they say that the world war next is going to be for the lack of water. रहीमन पानी राखिए बिन पानी सब सून, पानी गए न उबरे, मोती मानुष चून. Without pani, neither you'll get a pearl, nor a human being can live, nor you get a lime without the water. So these are in English. 15th century poet Geoffrey Chaucer, when English was not the way it was written, that way we are used to. Like he wrote very beautiful lines. For if a priest be foul, uh, let me see if I can share a PPT so you all can see also. You'll like it better. Yeah, I can share. So this 15th century poet Chaucer, just one second. He's talking about, just let me, yeah. For if a priest be foul, on whom we trust, no wonder is a common man should rust. Means if a priest whom everybody so looks up to, if he is foul, how can a common man? There is no doubt that even that the common man is rusting when the priests are also not to be trusted. Or he wrote, purity in body and heart may please some. As for me, I make no boast, for as you know, no master of a household has all his utensils made of gold. Some are wood, and yet they are of use. So um, we should not make a boast, because even the master of a house does not have all the utensils that are made of gold. Means a person cannot be perfect. There are, and even if there are not very good qualities, still they are useful. Like some are wood, some utensils are made of wood, but that yet they are of use. Or Shakespeare, everybody knows about Shakespeare. What wonderful dialogues he has written in his dramas. He was in the 17th century, and he has written these famous lines: all the world is a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts, his acts being seven ages. Similarly, we can see the new education policy, national education policy, which came in 2020, and now we all have got circular that is to be implemented. Talks a lot about multilinguistic approach and power of languages in teaching. I'm sure you all have uh, read the NEP for the primary years, that is foundational learning, primary and secondary stages of learning. If you read that, you will find that it talks a lot about multilinguistic approach, not just the English language or the medium of instruction. It has to be multilinguistic, and which includes your mother tongue, the local language of the state or the area that you live in, plus English language, plus Sanskrit, plus any other important language, international languages like French and any other that you like. So, uh, if you look at the curriculum, yes, it's also very important that and how do we teach multi languages? I'll show you how it is so easy to teach languages through poetry or rhymes. Uh, NEP 2020 talks about life skills, communication, cooperation, teamwork, rootedness and pride in India's rich, diverse, ancient and modern culture, knowledge systems and traditions. And all, how can you teach all of this? A rhyme a day. That's a sure way, I would say. So it also talks about um, Month's play-based school preparation module for all grades 1 students talks about alphabets, languages, numbers, colors, shapes, puzzles, drawings, painting, visual art, craft, drama, puppetry, music, movements, logical thinking, problem solving, whatever all these things NEP is mentioning, we all can teach the children through a rhyme a day. Yeah. So if you look at poems that I can remember, like if you look at this poem, which I really remember from my childhood, you all must be have also learned this poem by Alexander, that is, all things bright and beautiful, all creatures great and small, all things wise and wonderful, the good Lord made them all. This poem, you can read it. If you look at this, it teaches you about the nature, about each little flower that opens, each little bird that sings. He made their growing colors, he made their tiny wings. It talks about the power of the Almighty, the superpower which is making everything, making the world run, which is making us function, and the beauty of nature, talking about seasons, talking about forests, creatures. Such a beautiful thing. You can teach so many things with this one poem. He gave us eyes to see them and lips that we might tell how great is God Almighty, who made all things, who has made all things well. And when we do our philosophy and all, everything, that yes, there is a superpower, and today scientists believe that yes, other than all the science, there is something else which cannot be explained, and that something else is this power around us. Even in all the languages, like it is Mangesh Padgaonkar has written beautiful children's rhymes and poems. Adi Baba deto the mag aadtat bubblegum. Adi Baba deta chhadi, mag chocolate chi milte vadi. I ghete vachun ghada, mag dete batata vada. So these are some examples you will remember. Panchatantra stories. I find them so useful to teach values to children. Because if you tell a child you should not speak lies, or you should, be honest, you should be truthful, how do you teach them? Just by telling them you should be truthful, it doesn't, they don't understand so well there. So they need examples, they need stories, and the stories are the best ways to um, tell them these values. And in the Panchatantra stories, like, because now NEP also stresses a lot on the our Indian rich traditions and culture and the literature which is available in India, more ancient India. Panchatantra is one of the literatures available from the ancient India, and there are stories which talks about friendship. That is, these are some qualities which Panchatantra stories are teach us. And what are they? Pancha means five and Tantra means systems. There are five systems that these stories are teaching us. One is Mitra Labh, that is gaining friends. So we have a collection of stories that is related to how you can win friends. Then there is Mitra Bhed, Mitra Labh and Mitra Bhed, that is the next one, that is losing friends. This value says about how you can lose your friends. So there are stories that is related to losing friends. Then there is another third system is aparikshit karakam. Aparikshit karakam, which means acting without thinking. Collection of stories about how imprudence leads to losing what is important. And then the next one is labdha pranasam, means laws of gains. You gain something and then you lose it. So there are stories that mention how to come out of difficult situations without losing things, without having a loss. And the last one is kakul kakol kakolu kiyam. Kiyam. Kakolu kiyam means crows and owls. Kakolu kiyam. Collection of stories about rules and strategies of war and peace, with the help of crows and owls. They have Panchatantra has these stories. So why I'm talking about the story when we are talking about the rhymes? So I'll tell you one thing, that what I did was reading out a story to a child. I mean, a child, he or she has to be a little older, because then they can understand the stories. But if you convert these stories into rhymes and songs, it becomes, you can even share it with younger children. And look at this example. I tried to make this. Can you hear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
No, this. No, no, ma'am. The video audio is not coming. Video is coming very clearly.
Sorry. You did not get the sound, no? Yeah.
No.
Just 1 second. Huh? I'll do it. I have to share sound. Yeah. So this is just an example how we can change a story into a poem, and then children love it.
The monkey and the
Yes.
crocodile. There was a monkey who lived on apple tree, clever and happy to eat rose apples free. There was a monkey who lived on apple tree, clever and happy to eat rose apples free. The rose apple tree had abundant apples. He ate them alone without any hassles. There came a crocodile in search of some food. Monkey gave him apples, his heart was good. The crocodile and monkey became best of friends, sharing the apples and stories no end. Daily they met and talked about life. One day the croc said he also has a wife. What? You never told me about your wife. Please take some apples for your partner for life. Oh dear Crocky, these apples are delicious. Ask your friend for more, they are better than fishes. Monkey and Crocky spent evenings together, bringing more apples for Miss Crocky further. Once there lived a lion in a very vast jungle, who killed and ate animals in a very large number. Once there lived a lion in a very vast jungle, who killed and ate animals in a very large number. All the animals who lived there were very scared of him. All of us will die soon, chance of survival was dim. So they gathered courage and went to meet the lion with an alternate proposal. It was better than just dying. Your Majesty, please hear us before you try to kill us. You are king and we are your subject. Is there any fuss? If you kill all, you'll be left alone with only insects. How can a king be a king?
Okay. So these are just examples. Now we'll come back to, then somebody will say, ma'am, you are a poet, so you can write. We cannot write a poem, but I want to today teach you that anybody and everybody, especially educators like you, can create your own poems. Not very difficult. So there are different types of poems. For the beginner, and you can teach this to your children also, to your class also. In the classroom, you can have activities in this way. The first step is we can begin with acrostic poem, which is so easy to create for anyone. And there is a process. I'll give you some examples, and then we will do one small exercise where you can write your own poems. This is called acrostic poem in English, and in Hindi we say Akshar Baddh Kavita. Akshar means letter based poem. Poem which is based with, we start with the letters. So what is an acrostics? The first letter of each line spell out a word or phrase, and then they're easy to write because they don't need a rhyme. You don't have to bother about the rhyme or rhythm in the lines. And so there are 5 steps. First one is you have to decide what to write about. Then you write that word, that whatever you want to write about. Like if you want to write about friendship, then you write them vertically. F R IENDSHIP. You just write all the letters in that word vertically, and then now you think, brainstorm words or phrases that describe your idea. You think about friendship. So F, what you can think about friendship with F, then with R, then with I. So that way you have to think, and then place your brainstormed words or phrases on the lines that begin with the same letter. Then fill in the rest of the lines to create a poem. This becomes a poem. This is the easiest way to start writing a poem. There are some examples. Like for example, um, uh, so if I started with the example of poem. So it's not necessary that your word, the letters should come in the first. It is easier to put them in the beginning, the first word, but it can appear anywhere in that line. So this poem example, you can see the poem. I have put them in capitals so that you can understand. Pick up a pen, think of a topic, be creative, use your imagination. Sorry, there is a mistake there. Imagination. So you have to, similarly for school, rows of desks, teachers explain, pencils sharpened, going over the facts, writing poems and essays, the bell rings finally. So you can see there is no rhythm and all, but the words appear. Star shines and twinkles in the night, there is a plethora forever and ever. And then you can use a worksheet like this. You can write the words. You can first write the letters on the boxes, and on the right hand side of the page write the word, phrase or line that starts with that letter. And when you're done with this, you have your own poem, and then you can draw a picture of your word in the space at the bottom. This is an example. Now another way where your letter appears the first in the sentence, for example, this homework. Hard to do and sometimes overwhelming. My teacher gives us homework every single day, writing for hours or reading for hours. Kids need a break. So you can see that there are, when you progress in that, you can even make it rhyming sometimes. पाठशाला, पढ़ो लिखो और बढ़ो, ठोकर न खाओ, शाबाशी पाओ, लाभ ही लाभ उठाओ. Now you can see in this example there is a rhyme. So as you progress, you will yourself discover that you started rhyming also. Even if you don't rhyme, the children, they can just write anything, like we did for Earth Day. Earth is beautiful, a lot of plants live here. Recycling helps. Tell a friend to clean up, help in plantation. Earth, EARTH. Similarly, there are various, you can do it, and these are the things that you can remember when you start writing. I'll give you 1 minute or maybe 2 minutes to create your own poem with any word that you like to have. It can be about anything. Names are a common topic. When we teach our children, the best thing is we can ask them to write the name of their friend or their own name. For example, if my name is Sangeeta, I'll write SANGEETA in a vertical line, and then write everything. So best is to write about your own name. Everybody loves themselves, so why not start with your own name or any other topic. Try writing one using your best friend's name and then giving it to him or her as a gift. You can use single words, phrases, or even full sentences in your acrostic poem. See, if you want to write something with S, either you can just write one word, or you can just write a whole sentence for starting with S. So there are no rules, but the only rule to remember is these 4 sentences. So you can take some time, okay, and create a poem, and those who want to share can share in the box, or you can unmute and share. We'll have 3-4 minutes for this. Yeah. If anyone is ready and want to share, you can start doing that. Or you can put in the chat box. That's also fine. Yes, Sarabjit ma'am.
I'm putting it in the chat box.
No, you can share. Nobody's talking right now.
The fourth phrase is a little big.
It doesn't matter.
Okay, so it is I had finished it long back, but just okay. So his name is Ajit, AGIT. He's my husband. Okay.
Oh.
So a man who stands by me. J, just in anything it may be. I, it is my true blessing to have him. T, that he's my guiding light, and I thank him in all my hymns.
Lovely. You have really put in your emotions into it.
Yeah. I love to write.
Gift him. Okay.
Thank you.
Anyone? Dr. Nair, you seem to have written
Not
something.
yet. No, not yet.
So that's why the poetry is called the spontaneous work of powerful feeling. This definition is given by William Wordsworth.
True, yes.
Nitin Chopre sir, Nilesh Chopre sir is.
Yes,
Chopre
yes.
sir.
Nilesh sir from Shirpur.
Yes, sir. Sir has put something in the chat box.
Yes, he is. I have read that. He has. He said that acrostic poem is a good idea to start with poetry writing. Yes, that is easier, very easy. I'll also give you some tips how to teach children. When we teach our children in the class, what all we can give them.
Can I share?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, go ahead.
My word is merriment. MERRIMENT. So the first M stands for my lovely day begins. E, emphasize more on smiling as each day passes. R, remember each day is given to rejoice and nothing more. The second R says, repeat, I am happy today. I love being alive. M, meet a new you every day. E, empty all sourness, bitterness within you. N, no stopping with living wholesome life. And the last T says, today is the best and tomorrow will be 10 steps ahead of best.
Wonderful.
That's all I
Good.
could think of.
Very good. Yes, someone else wants to share?
Can I share? I'm ready.
Yes, ma'am, definitely.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I've just spent a few words on my granddaughter's name. She spells it as Sanvi, SAANVI.
Okay.
A small, chubby girl she is, an angel who loves to be kissed, always attracting people around. Nothing can stop her sound. She is vibrant and lovable, and also intelligent and admirable.
Great.
Wow. So
Great.
you are a step ahead.
That is Sanvi.
Lata ma'am, you are a step ahead because you have rhymed also the last
That
letter.
shows I've attended one session of yours already.
Okay. Wonderful to know. Thank you.
Thank you, dear. Thank you.
Okay. Is there anyone else who would like to share, or shall we go ahead?
I have a short one.
Yes, please.
Okay, I'll read it out. My best friend's name is Jody. So, jovial person at heart for J. O, who loves to travel far. D, I know you love devil's food cake. I wish you visit me in India. I don't know. It has
It's
no
beautiful.
rhymes, but just my thoughts.
Yes. So this is the beauty of acrostic poem, that you don't have to worry about rhyming and other things. But as you could see, Lata ma'am, that she started without rhyming, but now she can even rhyme, because you all know English, you all are educators, you are already, that is already there here, but you never thought of putting it actually. And what happens is, we think that it's only the job of the poet to write. But that's what I want to tell you, that anybody can write, and if you bring that in your teaching, your teaching will
Ma'am,
become so
ma'am,
effective.
Parimala Kulkarni ma'am also wants to.
Yes, yes, yes. Parimala ma'am, yes, please do.
Good evening. I have written about my granddaughter. Her name is Anvika. A, always smiling brightly. N, naughty at times. V, very lovable. I, inquisitive. K, kind-hearted. A, affectionate nature.
Wow. Wonderful, ma'am. Yes. So it is just a play of words, and you have to just bring it and collaborate by choosing a name or a idea or a feeling. It becomes easy for us to bring those words together and put them on a paper, and we can call it a poem. Yes, Radha ma'am.
Yeah, ma'am, I just would like to say this kind of exercises we do have in our textbooks actually, and we do make them when children really enjoy. 9th standard children, the textbooks nowadays do have all such exercises. I think it's really a nice activity and probably definitely helps us to, I mean, provide for creative work. Many children do a good job even over here, but then that should not remain as only for that particular activity because of your you have tried to motivate us like the similar activity can be definitely done in other further lessons or other places as well. We just do it for that particular lesson and then we leave it probably. So we can definitely continue to encourage them more into this direction.
Yes, ma'am. I'll tell you, I have my father was a poet, is a poet yet.
Okay.
He was he was an engineer, so he was very good in mathematics and science. So
Okay.
he taught us all the not formula,
Uh-huh.
the concepts of trigonometry through poems.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah,
No,
yeah.
sine cos, sine theta, cos
Correlating
theta, and
other
all those things.
subjects is
So
a good
all the
job.
formulas, yeah, of trigonometry, I
Mm.
don't remember that poem now, but it was like through the poem, and then about the chess. He used to teach us chess, so how
Oh.
to remember. So we had a chess board on which he has written there about the chess or shatranj, and it says like this. It talks about the chess. एक नगर में बसे 32, 32 means 32 in Hindi. एक
Oh.
nagar means a town. एक नगर में बसे 32. There are 32 people living in a town. 12 पशु मनई 20, 12 animals and 20 people, men. 12 पशु मनई 20, यही नगर का यही स्वभाव. The nature of this town is this: मरे कटे आवे नहीं घाव. Means they kill each other but nobody gets injured. They cut each other, they kill each other. So this way, for mathematics, for tables,
Wonderful.
there's so many. I mean, for history, geography, for names of the rivers, when I used to find very difficult to remember all the mountains and rivers, he taught us through uh, the rhymes. So difficult was math formulas, trigonometry, geometry. We always remembered it through poems, and believe me, it becomes so easy for children
Very
to
easy. Very.
learn and then never forget in their life. Sarita ma'am, you want to say something? Sarita Sharma ma'am, or you just did it? Finished? Sarita ma'am, yes.
Yeah, I had prepared something for my daughters, which I would like to share.
Sure.
Doll that came in our arms, angel of our life with charms. You are my best friend, giving us ample of light. Having you is a blessing. The Lord has blessed us right. Exceptional ones, you are the ruler of my life. So it's for the daughter. I have used the word daughter and created these lines.
Yes, beautiful.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Yes, Aditi ma'am, you're very right. In arithmetic, we use this BODMAS, and that is just creating a term so that we remember it, what comes after what. So we can even go ahead and make a rhyme out of it and make children remember. I remember the northeastern states. There are some 7, 8 states there in that northeastern of India, and I used to make a rhyme of it so that children remember NMMTM, and then make a acrostic poem on that. Nagapur, Manipur, all those things, and even for capitals for children to remember, capitals of states or capitals of countries. So this is a tool you can add in your teaching, and believe me, it's not just for poets. It's teachers. If teachers use it in a form of songs and spread happiness in the classroom, you will see your classroom. Children are so happy, they're excited, they love you, and you can make them do anything that you want to do once they are happy. Nilesh Chopra sir has also written, "Gold and silver I have none, worth a million is my son." Wonderful. It's a poem. I mean, it's a rhyming poem with lots of meaning.
Can I try?
And yes, ma'am, sure.
This is Poonam here.
Poonam, ma'am, yes.
This is on Mother, MOTHER.
Mhm.
And I have written, "She was my marvelous magical ideal with M."
Mhm.
O stands for an outstanding person. T stands for a tremendous value-oriented person.
Mhm.
H stands for a piece of my heart. E stands for really extraordinary, rich in love.
Hmm.
So that is what I have written for Mother. I don't know if I made any mistake anywhere, but
Yeah,
that is
there's
what
no
I tried to
mistake.
express.
This is the beauty of it, that it can never go wrong. Whatever you write, these are your
Yeah.
feelings, and your
Yeah,
feelings
I've
are
just
unique to
scribbled at
you.
the end
Okay.
moment, like,
Yes,
so
that's what
looking
I've
and
been
hearing
telling.
others, I was also encouraged, ma'am.
Yes. Okay. So let's go ahead little bit, because we are definitely all the time we are constrained with the time limit. I think I have 15 minutes more. Yes, Nair sir? Okay. So I'll give you some tips how you can make your, when you start working, and then you can improve upon it. You can make it easier. Like, you get rhyming dictionaries. You get everybody should have a rhyming dictionary. If you're really serious about writing poems, you should have a regular dictionary and a thesaurus. Thesaurus is where words with different words with same meaning are there. It is available. Like, if you find a word, you will find so many words which have same meaning. So you should have it. So there are some example, like there is a, nowadays it's much easier because you type on the Google. Many times I do that when I'm writing a poem and I'm like looking for a word which I want to rhyme with the, so for example, if I wrote the last letter was cat and I want to rhyme it with a word, so obvious words will be common words. But when you want some more word, then you go to internet, you just write rhyming word with cat, and you get so many hundreds of words which will rhyme with cat. You will get words with 3 letter, 4 letter, 5 letters, 6 letters, 7 letter, so much of it. So nowadays, if you really want to write a poem, you can take help of these tools, like I would say a complete rhyming dictionary by Clement Wood is very good. That is a rhyming dictionary itself. With each word, you will get rhyming words. And then online, if you want, there's poetryforkids.com. There is Rhyme Zone online rhyming dictionary. Very easy. So what you have to do? You have to just sit down and start. You have to rewrite, you have to edit, and once you have written a poem, you can just keep it away and go back to it after 1 day, 2 days, 10 days. See it with a new eye, just like a sculptor who, when he starts making a statue out of a stone or a wood, he will just go on polishing it till he gets the final thing that he wants. Never criticize yourself. I saw so many of you, being very apologetic and all. No, I said no, they are your idea, and every time you write a poem, congratulate yourself. So this same thing we have to tell our children. Children must be encouraged to put things in a poetry form so that they develop that kind of outlook for everything, because everything is so beautiful in this world. And if we develop that perspective in our child at a small age, he becomes that kind of a person. For these rhymes, you don't have to worry how it ends. You just start writing, and then you gradually get into rhyming and then meter. Don't worry about it in the beginning. So you can just start. There are free verses. When I spoke about acrostic poem, next the easiest thing is to write the free verses. Free verses, they have different styles of poem, where poems do not carry a specific meter. It's not necessary that they should end in a rhyme, or they should have a meter of so many words in a particular musical form. And free verse is like your own expression. There are no rules and restrictions for a rhyme scheme, and there are no rules to follow. So you can write any poem which you just write in maybe 2 words, 3 words in a line. For example, I can tell you about one of the poems that I wrote. आँख से एक टपका आंसू गिरने लगा, तुमने उसे थामा ना गिरने दिया, उसे संभाला महसूस किया सहलाया, और अचानक देखा मैंने वह अश्रु कितना लघु हो गया, मेरी आँख से टपका वो आंसू. So this is just about some feelings, but it has no rhyme, it has no rhythm or anything. It's called free verse. So that's another way to write a poem. You can make funny poems. So now writing funny poems is very good for children because they love it. Whenever there is a humor in something, it becomes more. I mean, it becomes more effective, I would say. So how you can make a poem funny? You can make a poem funny by using a surprise ending or exaggerating something, using opposites, putting your idea in an unusual place, using funny words, using pun, where this is a special type of wordplay, or all the above. So I'll give you I'll give you an example of a funny poem. My dog ate my homework. Now see, my dog ate my homework. Homework is something which you write in a book, and rather than telling that my dog ate my book or pages from my book, I'm writing my dog ate my homework. This is a humor. It became a humor. So that mischievous pup got hold of my homework and gobbled it up. My dog ate my homework. It's gonna be late. I guess that the teacher will just have to wait. My dog ate my homework. He swallowed it whole. I shouldn't have mixed it with food in his bowl. I tried to do my homework, but a show was on TV, a song was on the radio, a friend was texting me, my email chimed, and so of course I had to look at that. It linked me to a video of someone's silly cat. I watched a dozen videos and then I played a game. I almost did not hear her when my mother called my name. I looked up at the clock and it was time to go to bed. I didn't get my homework done, just other stuff instead. I hope my teacher listens to the cause of my inaction. It's really not my fault the world is just one big distraction. I'm feeling so misunderstood, mistreated, and harassed. For this week at the science fair, my project came in last. I toiled away for weeks and weeks, and yet, to my surprise, I didn't win a ribbon, not a trophy nor a prize. The science fair is the most unjust of contests anywhere. It may be scientific, but I still don't think it's fair. Science fair. Now see, this is not my poem. This is a poem written by Ken Nesbitt Making, and we can see how it started. It starts by my dog ate my homework, then talking about why you did not do your homework, complete your homework, and then it goes into the talking about the science fair, which is so unfair, and it becomes funny. And that's what they say, that in the beginning I said that you don't have to worry about where your poem is going. Whichever thought come to you, just go on writing it. It can rhyme, it cannot rhyme, whatever. Then you can make this poem funny. So there's another example. 7, 6 and 9. 7, 6 and 9 all sat down to dine. Now 6 is scared of 7. Now 6 is scared of 7 because 7 ate 9. So it's a joke. 7 8 9. 7 8 9. 7 8. So as using the different spelling. Instead of EIGHT 8, 7 8 9, it's written 7 8 9, and it becomes a funny poem, and it's actually a joke. So we can convert a joke into a poem and teach subjects through poetry very easy. And I already gave you the example of how about the chess in the beginning. The poem, if you make a poem, or any game can be we want to teach them rules, make it into form of a poem, give it to the children. It is a mental exercise, I would say. Like so we can even, you know, make simple poems for numbers for children. So 1 2 3 4, live more, love more. 5 6 7 8, get up early, never late. 9 10 11 12, keep your books on the shelf. 13 14 16, thus learn all numbers till 20. Or in Hindi, you know, 1 2 3 4, कर लो हर प्राणी से प्यार. 5 6 7 8, याद करो हर सुबह पाठ. 9 10, करो ना बस. 11 12, पढ़ो हंस हंस. 13 14 15 16, मेरा दोस्त है बिल्कुल भोला. 17 18 19 20, पढ़ लिख कर बन जाओ रईस. इसी तरह हंसी खेल में यार, गिनती सीखो सैकड़ा हजार. Some examples. Or you can give activities that, as you said already, that now the books, all the state board books have got plenty of activities at the end of each chapter, especially in the languages and in all the subjects. I'll show you one small video which talks that how we can convert a existing song into another poem, and you can just see that.
ये रे पावसा तुला देतो पैसा. ये रे पावसा तुला देतो पैसा. पैसा झाला खोटा, पाऊस आला मोठा. पैसा झाला खोटा, पाऊस आला मोठा.
तुम्हाला पावसाशी बोलावंसं वाटतं, पण त्यांनी तुमच्याशी गट्टी फू केलेली असते. त्यांनी लवकर यावं, तुमच्या मनासारखं पडावं, शाळेला सुट्टी मिळावी म्हणून तुम्ही त्याला सांगता,
ये रे पावसा रुसलास का, माझ्याशी गट्टी फू केलीस का, केलीस का. ये रे पावसा रुसलास का, माझ्याशी गट्टी फू केलीस का, केलीस का. झर 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 तू येणार कधी, अंगणात पाण्याची होईल नदी. झर 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 तू येणार कधी, अंगणात पाण्याची होईल नदी. ढगांच्या मागे असं लपलास का, माझ्याशी गट्टी फू केलीस का, केलीस का.
Very nice, ma'am.
Yes, this was an example. We can take some, you know, in other words, you can say it's not a parody. It's just using a known poem and creating your own poem, so that it gives a better and better, you can say, किसी को हम पहले से जानते हैं, उससे मिलना easy होता है, right? But कोई stranger से मिलना थोड़ा difficult होता है. So same for children. The poem that they have learned from the beginning, like if we have a poem, say Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, all the children learn it in the pre-primary schools. Take the cue of that poem and create a new poem to teach them any other subject, and it becomes very easy to make also. And also, like I love this poem which is written, it's a Balgeet. I don't know the author, but I got it. सांग सांग गुगल नाथ, माऊस अडकेल काय, कम्प्युटर हा बंद पडून सुट्टी मिळेल काय. सांग सांग गुगल नाथ is asking the Google. ऑनलाईन शाळा सुरू झालीये मग आता. सांग सांग गुगलनाथ, माऊस अडकेल काय, कम्प्युटर हा बंद पडून सुट्टी मिळेल काय. सांग सांग गुगलनाथ. गुगलनाथ बाईचा माईक बिघडेल काय, ओरडून ओरडून शिकवताना घसा बसेल काय. गुगलनाथ 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 गुगलनाथ, खरं सांग एकदा, आठवड्यातून वायफाय बंद पडेल का रे 3दा. गुगलनाथ उद्या आहे गणिताचा पेपर, वीज पडून इंटरनेटची तुटेल का रे केबल. गुगलनाथ पुढे झाली स्क्रीनवरची शाळा, मित्र नाही, दंगा नाही, आलाय रे कंटाळा. So this is a beautiful poem. And similarly, on the current situations, if you make poems, it becomes easy. There is one more example of anagrams. Anagrams, if you look into a dictionary, you will find the meaning that they are formed by the same in a word. The alphabets are same, but they are different. For example, teach and cheat. You can see teach and cheat have same alphabets, but because of the placement in a different form, the meanings have changed. They become a different word. So, example like um, some people teach, some cheat, and remaining teach to cheat. I had read somewhere this one. Listen and silent. They also have same alphabets. Listen and silent. Be silent and listen. Or fast fats. Either fast or add fats as you feast. Then there is word creative, reactive. Same alphabets but different words. You can never be creative if you are reactive. Sweet and waste. If you don't sweat as a sweat and waste, not sweet, sweat and waste, SWEAT, sweat and waste. If you don't sweat as a youth, you will waste your entire life. So sweat or waste. Bedroom boredom. Exist and exit, two different. Stain, saint. So there are so many words you'll find, and you can just collect the words and give exercises. As some you already said that we have so many exercises in our books which help you build your language skills. In the end, I would just say some reasons why we should include poem or rhyme to instill a love for poem in the classroom. So important for teacher. They will love the activities that build reading, writing, and languages. There are two types of teachers when it comes to poetry. There are two types of teachers. Even now here you would be thinking. One who love it and bring it into the classroom freely and often. And there are others who just want to stay away from poetry. The reason for this may be because they don't think it fits with the curriculum and what they are teaching. They will say, oh, I am teaching science, such a serious subject. I don't want to put poetry. And in fact, I have seen that people just sometimes think it is not in my this thing area of teaching. So they may not have time to fit it in, or they may not even enjoy. Some people just don't enjoy poetry, and this prevents them from introducing it into their classroom. If that love is not there for you, you know, I'll give you a challenge, give it a try. Open a book of poems, read the odd poems to your class, find a poem that goes along with your classroom theme and share. Ask children about their experience with poetry and how it makes them feel. And you will get the very good result from the children. So why it is important in our school, in your classroom? We can have a week of poem of the week activities. Many schools I have seen they do it. Poem of the week. You select one poem for the week and then have it as a part of reading, writing, language lessons to fit into classroom theme, projects, celebrations. And this will strengthen not only the bond, it builds reading, speaking, and listening skills. When sharing poems in the classroom, look at and read them together. Let all the children read together. Children are strengthening their reading skills and they build reading fluency through repeated reading. When they learn the poem by heart, they can do it very fluently. And then this connects in the brain, child's brain. When they see it, they hear it, they say it aloud, they begin to listen to the rhymes and rhyme present in the poems. They start seeing that there's a rhyming, there's a music, there's a sound. They become familiar to it. And as teachers, when we use poetry with children, we are modeling how to read it, building familiarity with it, and widening children's reading horizons. Reading comprehensions also results in discussion about meaning, connecting, visualizing. As I initially, the poem, wonderful poem, All Things Bright and Beautiful, Love Creatures Great and Small. Children can think about it. It can be read aloud. They can draw picture on that poem. You can make them sit quietly, think about the poem, what is happening in that poem. Let them draw. Let them They can even hear sounds of the poem, and their visualization increases. They connect to their thoughts, and even they can share their experiences and connections. Then language, obviously, language and vocabulary. Poetry builds vocabulary. Children get exposed to words that they have never heard before, and they listen to them in context. Like, they discuss new terms, and then when they hear it again somewhere else, they can make a connection that, yes, I had heard this word in that poem. And then they are inspired to even write. I know so many children. When I was a teacher, where I was teaching very young children, today many of them are into creative art. One of my student is writing books, and she sends me every time she writes a new book, and every time she tells me, "Ki, this is only because, ma'am, you introduced us to writing. You encouraged us that you can write. Yes, you make your own poem." And believe me, I'm doing it for the last 30 years. Whenever I teach something, I like to bring in a little poetry, little music into any serious subject, and it really affects them. It touches the heart, and you can do that. And if you do that, you will see the result. You will see, start teaching poetry to children early as they begin to learn and write. A good poetry writing unit includes planning and brainstorming activities. Give them templates to write and ways to display a poem. Simple poems, you can begin with the acrostic, and then those who are talented will pick up very fast, and it will encourage their creative thinking. They will have new ways of thinking about things, like we talked about that poem, "My dog ate my homework." New way of thinking it. And then it builds a love for reading also, because children have a natural curiosity to foster, and this gets encouraged with poetry. So they can think about new world. Poetry is great to share with children, but also have available for them to choose and read independently. Not just telling, but you can encourage them to. It gives them enjoyment. It can give them laughter if it is done in a proper manner. It's fun to read. So let us all today, resolve that we will bring in some poetry in our lives as teachers, and we will introduce the teachers, our children also to it. Not only we do it, but we'll also encourage our children to do it. Now we can have some discussions or any other thing you would like to say.
Anyone would like to ask anything to Dr. Sangeeta ma'am? Please ask. We have 2-3 minutes for asking any questions. Anyone would like to ask her? Definitely, the session was wonderful, and I hope the way in which we teach, I mean, particularly the small children with the video, the poems with the video, it will be wonderful. They will understand very clearly, and they will remember it throughout the life.
Yes, sure. Mukesh sir, you have to unmute yourself.
Anyone would like to ask?
No, thank you, ma'am. It's wonderful. I enjoyed. Voters' Day is coming, no, 21st. So I made something. So I just take 2 minutes if we permit.
Yes, sure.
It's in Gujarati. Gujarati ma bolis.
Yes, sir.
It is મતાધિકાર દિવસ. So I made it from that. મજબૂત બનના લોકોની તાકાત એમના વિચારોની, અધિકાર આપવાની આ તક શું કામ મેળવવી? રમત નહીં, લાલચ નહીં, નક્કર મત આપવાની, બધાનું ભલું થાય એના પર ધ્યાન આપવાનું. દિવસો બાદ આવતો આ મહત્વનો દિવસ જરૂરથી બધાવજો આપનો કિંમતી મત. It was on the vote. Yeah.
Yes, such an important topic, such an important thing, and even government is like, asking us to celebrate Matdaan. Yes, through the poem, yes, it becomes much more relevant and nice.
Yeah, they made the song. They told me to make a song, so I said I can make in Gujarati, Hindi, Marathi, and English. Those are the mother tongue, they can work.
People can translate it.
Yeah.
For poems, language is not important, no, ma'am.
Yes, language is not a barrier.
Is there anyone else? Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Suresh sir, for giving me this opportunity for presenting my ideas before you. I hope you all will use it. Not just, don't forget कि अभी हो गया session खत्म. No, take it away. Please take it away and
Definitely.
start using it.
Definitely, ma'am. Definitely. In fact, thank you. Before I propose vote of thanks, let me just announce about our next session before the people go leave. In our next session, we will be having Miss Pavitra Desai speaking to us about enhancing the psychological well-being of students. She will focus on the role played by school and ways to contribute to positive mental health of kids. Ms. Pavitra Desai is a senior psychologist at Koglaban Dhirubhai Ambani Hospital and Research Center, Andheri. She is a master's in psychology from University of Mumbai with 10 years of experience with children, adolescents, and adults. I invite all of you to our next session, which will be on first Tuesday of February 2022, and definitely we'll be sending the invite and the registration links to all of you. So please join. Fall in love with languages. What a wonderful topic Dr. Sangeeta Srivastava has chosen to us for today's session. As she said, everyone has to fall in love with one or the other languages. Sangeeta ma'am, definitely it was wonderful. We remember our childhood poems even now, just because of our love towards that language. Power of languages in teaching and multi-linguistic approach is very much highlighted in NAP 2020, as you said. And you even taught us to try for writing poems of our choice. I hope with your motivation, many of us will become poets or poetesses in the near future. For this wonderful session, ICRDE is very much grateful to Dr. Sangeeta Srivastava. Right now, she is in the United States of America, where it is, I think it is early morning and very cold. In spite of all this, she has delivered a wonderful session for all of us. Thank you very much, ma'am. ICRDE is thankful to all our advisory panel members for their timely support in all our endeavors. We are also thankful to all our well-wishers and especially all the participants of today's session, requesting everyone to participate in our future programs also. I would like to thank my co-founder of ICRDE along with me, Mrs. Deba Desai, in spite of her personal health problems, for joining the sessions today. Also, our great supporter of ICRDE, Mr. Girish Dalvi, for his support and help, without which we would not have been able to achieve many things. Also, we are grateful to our technical team led by Mr. Inderjit Ratan for all the technical support to ICRDE. Once again, thanks to each one of you for joining today and expecting you all to be there in the next session also. Once again, thank you, Sangeeta ma'am. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir.
Request
Thank you, sir.
Those who have not joined the ICRDE, please join. You can right now. You can log into CRDE.in, CIRDI.in, and go to members arena. No money involved in it. Our aim is also to just give the platform to all the teachers, all the educators. Thank you.